Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, I got some bad news, right? And it's good news for most of the boxing fans, but for me, it goes a little bit further than boxing most of the time. You know, boxing is cool, but y'all know what I think about it. It's BTBG and a lot of other stuff. So I don't really, it's not good news to me, right? But it's going to be a good fight if it happens. Jermall Charlo, two division champion. I don't know his record right now, but it's 30 something and 0, right? I didn't look at it. Don't have to. The man's bad. He's a part of a twin brothers, right? That I'll call Double Trouble. Boom, 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 Double Trouble. Y'all remember that? They coming for you. Remember that? Yeah, that Double Trouble. You know, both of them champions. Jermall Charlo is an undisputed champion, and Jermall is at 160 pounds because they don't want to fight in the same division. And these boys are bad. They would be megastars in any country in the world except America because they're twin brothers, come from Texas, and been trying to fight Canelo in Texas forever, which would be major, major fights, filling up any domes ever. Right? And then there's my boy, number 2 pound for pound on my list, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Also undefeated, 2 division champ, about to go up to the 3rd division. Right? Both of these guys are injured right now. One got a back injury, the other one got a shoulder injury. But finally, right, Jermall Charlo is supposedly had called out Demetrius Andrade. Right? That's what you're going to see in the headlines. Right? He calls out Demetrius Andrade, right? Because that's what people want to see. I'm still at hell no to Andrade and Charlo, right? Because I don't want them two to fight before either one of them gets a piece of Canelo and Gennady Golovkin. But in the same article where he calls out Demetrius Andrade, right? He calls out Munguia, right, who's his mandatory. Matter of fact, Jaime Munguia is the mandatory for both of these guys. He's been the mandatory for Andrade longer than Charlo, but he's the mandatory for both of them. Don't have to fight him. Similar to when Canelo was Demetrius Andrade mandatory for WBO at 154 pounds, didn't have to fight him. Similar to Ryan Garcia, who's the mandatory for Devin Haney for about a year and a half or 2 now, don't have to fight him, calling out everybody else. So who cares, right? What they're focusing on is that he's called out Andrade. So Jermall Charlo and Andrade could fight and cancel themselves out so none of them could fight Gennady Golovkin and Canelo. So that's why I don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Whatever. If they fight, cool, whatever. I ain't trying to see these two brothers fight until one of them at least gets a shot at one of those guys. Because those guys are going to fight, and they're both scared of these guys. So I'm not really hyped about it. I know we should move on, but that's what black people always do. Move the hell on. No. So I'm not happy about that happening. But if it's fight, it's a good damn fight. Yeah. But should it be happening? No. Not without, think about it. 2013, Demetrius Andrade's the champion. What is it, about 2015? Jermall Charlo's the champion. In the same division as Canelo and Gennady Golovkin. And everybody knows those guys and call them better, and those guys have been a part of pound for pound list the whole time. Don't want to fight these guys, and neither one of these guys has been in anybody's pound for pound list except mine. Because Jermall Charlo's in there. He's down behind his brother. He's about 9 or 8 on my list that I made about 8 months ago. And Demetrius Andrade, number 2, right? Don't give a damn what nobody say. Number 2. If he wasn't, somebody would have beat him by now. You see what I'm saying? Or tried to go get him. How can you be in the same division and don't even try? So, yes, Jermall Charlo has called out Demetrius Andrade. But among others, Jaime Munguia was also in there. Benavidez was in there. And Andrade was in there. Canelo's in there all the damn time, right? So all of them were in there. But, hey, if Andrade's the only name you heard, then yes. Jermall Charlo wants to fight Demetrius Andrade too. Now, finally, it could be. Right? But I, personally, and I repeat, would rather see Jermall Charlo versus Canelo, Demetrius Andrade versus Gennady Golovkin, or whoever, and then they have a little round-robin tournament of those 4, and the 2 that comes out fights. But the semifinals should be Jermall Charlo or Andrade versus Canelo or Gennady Golovkin, and then the 2 winners of those 2 fights move on. Because what happens in these kind of scenarios, like they want it to be, is these 2 brothers cancel each other out. So now we can only avoid one of them. Because now one of them has a loss. And it's just only lost to them, to them each other. It's not like a Danny Jacobs type of loss where we can fight Danny Jacobs. No, they'll still avoid these brothers. The one is like one is undefeated, we only avoiding one, and the other one, hey, he's got a loss. Oh, I got to fight him no more. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly what would happen. That's why these things are not good news for me, probably for you, because at the end of the day, you might have a fight. That's not what it looked like to me. It looked like something else. But we'll leave it at that. BTBG, y'all know what time it is. I'm going to go on and keep enjoying my damn time. Listen up. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.